What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Game Tinker. My name is John, and today we are going to be looking at the Sunwaytek H510 Mechanical Pro Controller for Nintendo Switch, PC, Android, iOS, and Linux. So I will change the angle here. That way we can unbox this. Now I've already unboxed it and tried it out and everything like that. So this is just a re-unboxing so that you can see what it has in the box and everything else. So it is a very plain Jane box. The visual on here is very light. Typical Chinese packaging. It's got one label on it. Now, I didn't put this back into the little protective sleeve here. It's got this like styrofoam sleeve that it's in. And then it literally only has this very small manual that basically tells you how to pair it with the different things. So that is not really needed. I mean, the thing is needed. As far as telling you what button combinations to press for certain devices. Now this is my second unit. My first one had a really bad stick drift, and it was really bad. I couldn't even use it for anything. So luckily they had some of these back in stock, and I was able to get a replacement. This one works perfect. Nothing wrong with it other than some design flaws that you'll see. But the unit itself is made well enough. It is a $30 Pro controller. It does not have NFC, and I can't remember if it has Rumble or not. But it feels like it has Rumble. I can't remember, it's been a little while. I already filmed this, and I had audio issues, and then I got busy, couldn't refilm it, so here we are today. So I used this for a couple hours. It paired perfect. The way that I paired it was I used the USB-C cable that I had, hooked it up to it, it paired right away. Of course, when I got it, it was 100% dead, so I had to charge it for a few hours before I could even use it. I cannot tell you how long this battery lasts because I didn't play with it for that long. However, I played with it long enough to see how it is and everything else. So, design-wise, it's very weird. Usually, the controllers go convex on top and concave on the bottom. This is the opposite. So this has your almost standard bottom, and then the top is concave, which actually feels really nice. Your thumbs rest nice. The D-pad is decent. It is mechanical. I do wish they would have designed it a little bit different. And actually, Wolf Gaming did a review on this, and he did a little bit better in depth than what I'm going to do. So if you want to check that out, he's Wolf Gaming over on YouTube. He's a really cool guy, and he goes over the ins and outs of this controller. His D-pad actually came off, and it kept falling off when he was playing. So that is a definite no-go as far as the design aspect. But the buttons are also mechanical. They're not clicky, though. It says they have Cherry MX switches, and I'm going to call BS on that just because this is a $30 controller. It very well could be that they ripped off the design of the Cherry MX switch. But they're not. I'm going to call BS on them being genuine. Also, Cherry MX switches are clicky, and this is not clicky. It does work good though. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and go over some of the stuff on the Amazon page. That way we can review this together. Before I do that, I just want to go ahead and say what I like and dislike about this. The controller has a nice weight. It feels really good. The triggers are spongy AF. I'm not a big fan of them. Also, the shoulder buttons, they're okay. I like a more clicky style button. These have a decent feel to them, but I don't like how they feel. The controller itself feels solid. I don't know how you would even take this apart. I'm not sure if it's glued or if it clicks together or what, but I'm not going to take this apart. I do like the layout. I do prefer this style of D-pad, which is the octagonal shape. It's actually round, but it's got this kind of pitch to it that's really nice. They have this on a single pivot point, and I think the way that they could improve this is by taking that pivot point away, or making it different to where, because you can move this all around and it's not going to do anything until you click it. So you have all this room, it's not doing anything, all this movement, and it's not going to move until you click that button all the way down. So that's a major issue with me. That's way too much movement to not have any kind of action to it. So you could be trying to move it along and it's not doing anything. You have to click the damn button all the way in. These buttons work pretty good. It says you can take things out and swap them around. That will probably not stay in there now, I bet you. But I'm going to use the strictly 4 switch, and honestly I have another Pro controller. I just use my Pro controller because it lasts like 80 hours. So but buttons are decent. Sticks are awesome. If you get one with no drift. This one has no drift issues, so this one's fine. These buttons here, I would prefer them to stick out just a tiny bit more. Not a lot, just a tiny little bit. Because when you press them down, I mean they got good travel. But would be nicer if it was just a little bit taller. Overall, the design is nice. Only issue I can see is if you're maybe playing like Smash Bros or something like that, and you're doing like combos. You can see it's nice to hit individual buttons, but when it goes to like trying to do like combos or something like that, this controller is not going to be able to do that, because of the way that the buttons are in that curve, and that's really a downfall. If they would bring this up and curve the whole thing, or just bring this part up, this controller would be perfect. This is really just personal preference, and we'll see why this is. It's some kind of magnetic something or other. I'm not sure exactly what they call it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the camera back up and switch it, and we will take a look at what the Amazon page says. And this does go over battery life and stuff like that. So, oh, here we go. Okay, so this controller is $30.99 as of right now, December 16th, 2020. So this says it can play across all platforms. Traditional yet different. Yeah, kinda. that states that this is the first mechanical controller, and it doesn't say that it's using Cherry MX switches. So my apologies on that. I think that they had changed that. So now it's just saying linear red switch. So it says it uses a ALPS thumbstick. It looks to me like it's just a standard analog stick that you can get in any controller. So magnetic sensor triggers. So that's why those triggers are spongy like that, because they are magnetic. Scrolling down here, you can tell this is some Chinese garbage because it says make some different. You would think that they would, putting it on here, they would at least get someone that could make this sound normal. But this gives the feedback on all this stuff, blah blah blah. Shows this. This does have just standard rumble, does not have HD rumble, and that's pretty much a given. And here you can see the D-pad. This is the center point that pivots on it, and then here's the little click buttons, and you can see what I was talking about. The pivot has nothing to do with any kind of input on this D-pad. You have to push these little red buttons underneath it. So if you're playing something that uses fast movements and you gotta just hit that D-pad and stuff like that, it's unless you press it all the way down, it's not going to work. It does not use rubber domes like standard controllers, so that is nice. But you can see here, shows the switches, shows the buttons. I don't know why they call this an arcade stick D-pad. Shows that you can swap the buttons around. That's not something I would do more than once, because these things are made cheap and they will not stick back in there. It does show to not have HD rumble. It does have standard vibrators in it. It has no amiibo support, so no NFC support. It states that the battery is 11 to 19 hours, less for games with a lot of vibration. It's pretty much a given. You can use this with iPhone, iPad, and Mac. It's got to be iOS 13 or above. It does use Bluetooth, so Linux and Raspberry Pi should be good. And then it gives the support. So would I recommend this controller? It really depends on what kind of games that you are playing. If you're playing some race games or just some platformers, stuff like that, something that doesn't use the D-pad. I mean, for $30, you can get better controllers than this for $30. If you want something that's different, by all means, if you want to spend $30 on it to have something different, then go for it. I mean, but you have to understand what you're getting yourself into. This is not something that I would suggest using for many games. Dead Cells, no. This would be horrible for that game. Same thing with any kind of fighter game. Anything that uses the D-pad is a no-go. I don't know, just regular platformers or stuff like that. Maybe some Mario might be okay. But like I said, you can get much better controllers for $30. You can get a Hori or a Power A controller for $30. I wouldn't go this route. I got this because I wanted to do a review and check this out myself. This is not sponsored. I did actually pay $30-something for this controller. I probably won't use it very much, but I mean, I'm not really playing my Switch all that much right now. It's just personal preference. I've been on the PS4 kick lately, so been playing that. And I guess if you want to spend $30-something on a controller and you want to check this one out, by all means, go for it. Like I said, it's a comfortable controller, and if you're playing something easy, it might be cool. But other than that, you're pretty much taking a gamble with any Chinese knockoff controllers or unique controllers. This is pretty cool that it is a mechanical controller, so that's the main reason why I wanted to check it out. Wolf Gaming gave it a okay review as well. I would say that this is okay. If you want to spend it, do it. It's an alright little controller. It's just weird. It does have its flaws. I would, if you're gonna spend $40 on a damn controller, get a freaking pro controller. Get a used pro controller, and then save up $20 and get a cool shell for it off Amazon. Super easy. It's got like 4 or 5 screws, and it comes apart, and you put it together. You can't mess it up. But that's about all I gotta say on this one. It's okay. But I'd like to just thank you guys for stopping in. I know time is money, and for you guys watching this, I do appreciate it very much. And I hope you guys are staying safe, and we'll catch you next time, guys.